democracy is viewed as an enviable example on the African continent. However, threats from violent extremists in neighboring countries like Burkina Faso are concerning. President Akufo-Addo recently expressed worry about Russian activity in Burkina Faso, and Kamala Harris says discussions with Ghana will also include the strengthening of democracy and security.
I look forward to my meetings with President Akufo-Addo, President Samia, and President Hichilema. We will build on the previous meetings I have had with each of them to strengthen democracy and good governance, promote peace and security, build on long-term economic growth, and strengthen our business ties. I also look forward, during this visit, to meet with entrepreneurs and artists and students and farmers to witness firsthand the extraordinary innovation and creativity that is occurring on this continent and inspiring the world.
This visit by Vice President Kamala Harris is intended to build on discussions that were held between Africa and the United States during the U.S.-Africa Summit held in December last year. While she's here, she will hold economic discussions with President Akufo-Addo. And as Ghana is seeking to restructure its debt with its foreign partners, the expectation is that these discussions will go a long way to help Ghana in this regard and also help the country get the $3 billion IMF bailout it is seeking from the International Monetary Fund. For City News, my name is Charles Osukume, reporting from the Kozuka International Airport.
So the Vice President is in Ghana. That is the Vice President of the United States of America. And now she's expected to have a meeting with President Akufo-Addo. My colleague, Sami Wiafi, who is the presidential correspondent, is live on phone to give us update of what is happening in the Jubilee House. Sami, what can you tell us about the meeting? Has it commenced?
Well, good morning, Philip, and good morning to viewers. Well, the Vice President of the U.S., as you said, just arrived a couple of minutes ago, and as we speak, there's a guard of honor mounted on her honor, and she's inspecting the guard as we speak at the moment. Immediately that is done, she'll be ushered into the Jubilee House, where she'll be met at the entrance by the hosting president, which is President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. The U.S. Vice President is visiting with a 12-member delegation made up of ministers in the U.S., or secretaries as they call them, business executives, as well as some key security officials who are accompanying her in this particular visit. It forms part of a three-day visit to, a three-nation visit to Africa, starting from Gambia, Ghana, will lead to Tanzania, and then some other countries which he visited. So the itinerary for today, or what's going to happen today, is that Philip, immediately she is ushered into the main Jubilee House. She will be met on arrival by the president. The two leaders will go into a tete-a-tete meeting, which will last for like 10 minutes. From there, they will enter into the auditorium where they will hold bilateral meetings, which is made up of ministers from the U.S. or secretaries who are accompanying her, and some cabinet ministers who are already seated waiting for this particular meeting. The Vice President will be part of this meeting, the Chief of Staff, the Minister for Land and Natural Resources, the Minister for National Security, the Minister for Interior, Information Minister, and other key government ministers will all be present at this particular meeting, as well as the delegation that is coming with the visiting Vice President of the U.S. From there, the two leaders will also go and have another private meeting that will last for like about 30 minutes. And then there will be a press conference. There will be a press conference where the two leaders will tell the Ghanaian media and the visiting media houses who accompany the Vice President the purpose of the visit, and also what the two leaders discuss at this bilateral engagement, which is going to be behind closed doors. But a bit of information I have picked up about the discussion the two leaders are likely to have is going to be focused on economic development for Ghana, especially regional security and democracy. On the economic front, you know that Ghana is seeking support from the IMF for balance of payment support. And so the president will put before the U.S. Vice President what help the U.S. can offer to Ghana as far as seeking this particular bailout from the IMF is concerned. I'm reliably informed that the U.S. government or the Vice President intends to plead with members of the Paris Club to forgive Ghana of her debt or possibly restructure Ghana's debt as one of the conditions needed to have this IMF balance of payment support. So the discussion will be very, very heavy on Ghana's economic growth and the IMF support Ghana is seeking. To be aware, the finance minister announced to us some few weeks ago that the government is hoping to get the support from the IMF by end of March. And today is the 27th of March. And we just heard in China that the finance minister and the Chinese government has reached more or less an agreement on how these particular debts, which is 1.7 billion of the Chinese debts, will be restructured as far as this IMF balance of payment support is concerned. The Vice President, we are told, is also expected to announce the appointment of a full-time advisor for the Ministry of Finance to help develop and execute a medium to long-term reform needed to improve their sustainability. So the U.S. government intends to announce that right after this whole IMF support program, they will announce an advisor who will more or less advise government moving forward and how to manage the economy well and also manage their sustainability very well as far as this particular whole IMF balance of payment support. So as we speak, Philip, the guard of honor is done. The Vice President of the U.S. is working majestically to go and meet the President of the Republic, Nana Akufo-Addo, and the two leaders will enter into a tete-a-tete before the bilateral discussion.
So from what you're just telling us, has she arrived yet? And also, you made mention of some ministers and government officials who will be at this particular meeting, also when the media is supposed to be engaged. Can you tell us if these officials are there as of now?
Yes, as I speak to you, the Vice President of the U.S., Kamala Harris, right? In a short while, she'll be in a meeting with the President. Now, the key ministers you mentioned are all ready, are seated in the auditorium, waiting for the two leaders. I mean, the Vice President of the U.S. and the President of Ghana to go and join them in this particular discussion. The discussion will focus on security, economic growth for Ghana, as well as agriculture and women empowerment. Those are the thematic areas the discussion is going to focus on as the U.S. Vice President visits Ghana and also holds a discussion with Mr. President. Okay,
Samuel Afif, many thanks for your time. Keep staying there for us and bring us updates on the meeting between President Akufo-Addo and the Vice President of the USA, that is Kamala Harris. Hansen, what do you make of this visit briefly?
I think that it's one that goes to the heart of Ghana-US relations, and as we are well aware, the role US plays when it comes to the Ghanaian economy. The US is one of Ghana's biggest bilateral trade partners. So, and if you look at the time that we are in, the economic challenges that we are facing, the sort of help that we literally need, some of these assurances that we still have trade partners who are willing to help us go through this is very key. But we also should be mindful of the geopolitical space, and even the United States of America has admitted to the fact that they are in a competition with China for influence over Africa. And so we should also look at it from the interest that is driving the United States of America. So the Vice President, it's here, it's symbolic, it's a good gesture, it goes to our relations. But she's also here because her government seeks to deepen ties with Africa. And Ghana is one of the countries they seek to do this through. Now, when we get to understand this, then we get to play our cards very well and be able to also benefit from this. Mind you, in 2009, Obama came to Ghana, and he essentially actually gave again, or gave that reassurance of United States support to Africa. So I'm saying that when we look at the context clearly, and we would get to know how to play our cards very well so that we can benefit generally Now, the United States, various investors from America invest about 145 million US dollars annually in the country. Now, through various programs as well, certain direct investments are being felt in Ghana. So if you look at the Millennium Compact, for instance, which came into effect in 2016, estimated about 500 million US dollars to be invested in Ghana. Now, if we are able to get more of these direct investments, and people who make the argument against aid will always push for direct investment. So looking at the position of America and what they seek to do with Africa, and looking at the potential that we can get if we strengthen our relationship, we can increase some of these investments.
Exactly. You just hold your thoughts there, because after her visit in Accra, that is with a meeting with President Akufo-Addo, she's expected to visit the Central Region tomorrow, specifically Cape Coast. But Calvis Tete is the Central Regional Correspondent for City FM, City TV, and he's on the phone to give us update of what is happening in the Central Region as of now. Calvis, you're welcome to CNR Extra. What can you tell us? How is people in Cape Coast preparing for the visit of Kamala Harris?
Well, Philip, if you ask me, I would say residents of Cape Coast are expectant of the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris. This morning, I saw police personnel from the Ghana Police Service moving towards the Cape Coast direction, which is an indication of her coming. They are going there to prepare the ground for her coming. You could see flags of the United States, on some street lights, among others, which is also an indication of her coming. What I know is that tomorrow she's visiting the Cape Coast Castle, and then the Emintim as the palace where the Cape Coast, the Obama is residing. She will meet traditional leaders, the clergy, top security officials, among others. She would also go to the Cape Coast Castle to also have a feel of what the slave trade looked like in those times, Philip.
Hello, Calvis.
Yes, Philip.
Yes, so you made mention of security being intensified and the places she's going to visit. Have you spoken to some of the residents there, asking them what they expect to, hear from her when she comes there, or probably what the mood is in that particular area?
Well, Philip, it's a tight atmosphere here. I mean, you see the flags of the United States on some street lights, among others, which is an indication of her coming. I spoke to one or two residents to find out if they really know of her coming. Some of them who normally read tells me they understand that she's coming, and although they don't know the content of what she's coming to do there, they believe it's a sign of good fortune for the people of the Central Region, knowing that whenever any top officials come from across the globe, the Central Region is always the gateway where they come to actually catch a glimpse of the slave trade and how it happened, and then also visit traditional authorities. They believe there will be a good news from her coming, Philip.
Thank you, Calvis. Calvis, keep monitoring events in the Central Region for us when she arrives there tomorrow. But I think this is a good news, because often when you have big officials, let's put it that way, Vice President, the other time we had Donald Trump's wife coming, Melania Trump, among others, it tends to boost tourism. For instance, when you go to the Cape Coast Castle, you would get to know that a number of people visit the area as a result of you having individuals visiting the places, and it sends a good signal to other countries.
Yes, I mean, her coming is a historic one, has been widely reported both in the local and international media. So essentially, any part of the country that she goes to will get the attention, depending on how we are able to capitalize on it. And that's why I made mention of how we can make good use of the visit. Now, just to read a portion of Obama's speech when he came to Ghana and visited Parliament. And this is something that he said. He said the continent is rich in natural resources, and from cell phone entrepreneurs to small farmers, Africans have shown the capacity and commitment to create their own opportunities. But old habits must also be broken. Dependence on commodities or a single export has a tendency to concentrate wealth in the hands of the few and leaves people too vulnerable in downturns. So in Ghana, for instance, oil brings great opportunities, and you have been very responsible in preparing for new revenue. But as so many Ghanaians know, oil cannot simply become the new cocoa. A lot of admonishments he made about how we need to structure our economy, how we needed to build institutions. I won't say we needed then President Obama to have known these things, but 2009 to 2023, after over how many years? About 14 years of his visits to Ghana, will you see that a number of observations, a number of admonishments that he made, we have taken steps as a people to position Ghana in an area where we can be equals, or at least close to Western countries, and benefit greatly when it comes to trade. The answers will be in the books. I don't think that if we have benefited that much,
so you think
we would be.
The visit of these individuals, though it's being publicized, we have all the stories around it, leaders don't really take much out of it, and also what they are supposed to do for this country, as compared, that is the leaders in this country.
I'm saying that when it comes to international trade, there are a lot of conspiracies, and there are usually concerns as to whether the West really sees Africa and African countries as trade partners. But be as it may, what happens is that when we have some of these people, they come and they show us what they are really expecting, so that there can be that benefit from both sides. I'm saying that from time to time, Ghana and African countries at large, we have not been doing our own part of the bargain to make sure that we benefit ourselves. And as I rightly pointed out, she's coming and she's in Ghana and moving to these other African countries.
To Tanzania
because
and to Zimbabwe.
Ultimately,
Zambia rather.
Her target given to her is to improve upon US's influence in Africa because of the competition that they have with China. Now, before her visit, officials advised that they are not asking Africa and Ghana to choose either US or China, but they want us to expand our options. Now, when you're expanding your options, meaning that you are trading with any of them and accepting these two countries who want their influence felt in Africa. Now, this is their motive. At the end of the day, they will take steps to make sure that their influence is felt. But will we, as a people, also take relevant steps to make sure that we can drive the needed direct investments? I mean, there have been arguments about aid and all these things, but there's that consensus that Africa needs direct investment. And some of these visits, with the necessary steps taken, can drive direct investment to help our economy.
Exactly. So the direct investment that we want in this country, and it was been made in there, that is also to ensure that there is much interest in investment. But for motorists and also residents in this country, or let's say citizens, you have to take note of the police directive concerning her visit and some arrangement that have been made to direct traffic. There will be intermittent road blocks along the Liberation Road from Kotoka International Airport. That was done yesterday, and it came down that the police in the statement added that there will be once again intermittent roadblock from the National Theatre through to the AU Runabout to the Jubilee House, and from the Jubilee House to the Emmanuel Eye Clinic around the Shiashi area between the hours of 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So when you notify that there is a gridlock in some parts of the city, this is actually the reason. So you should adhere to all road signs and all road directions that the police will put in place. Away from this story, let's bring you the issue of Dr. McPalm, who was the first accused in the ongoing coup protest case. Well, he's been said that he's dead. Let's bring you that insight.
First accused person in the ongoing coup plotters case, Dr. McPalm, has been confirmed dead. Dr. McPalm and 9 others, including ACP Benjamin Agojo, were arrested in 2019 for allegedly plotting to topple the government. The accused persons have been on trial since their arrest for the offense of high treason while on bail. The state in its case against the accused persons indicated that weapons, ammunition and explosives procured and manufactured for the purposes of the coup were retrieved from the Citadel Hospital belonging to Dr. McPalm. The accused persons, however, have denied the allegations of plotting to destabilize the country. But weeks after Dr. McPalm opened his defense, city news sources have confirmed the passing of the medical doctor.
A very sad one there, and this morning I think the family also came out to make mention of their passing of their beloved one.
Well, may his soul rest in peace. As we have it in our legal jurisprudence, no one is guilty until proven guilty. So regardless of the charges, we'll have to go through the criminal process before there can be a determination. So, I mean, it's a sad one for anybody to lose a family member, a medical doctor who had served his due, a medical doctor by profession, CEO of the Citadel Hospital. We are still not very clear on what exactly caused the death, but what we pick up from our sources is that he collapsed in his house and then he was sent to the hospital where he later died. And of course, the case is still ongoing. The death does not in any way halt the case.
Okay.
It's always a discretion of prosecution. And so we don't know, we are yet to hear from the state whether they'll review their strategy going forward because of this incident. Because again, he was the first accused person. He was in a way one of the main suspects in the matter. Okay. But he has given his defense. He gave his defense on February 21 and he was cross-examined. His defense largely was that all the evidence against him was actually planted, and he also in his defense noted that the people who were arrested were not necessarily members of the Take Action group, which the state alleged to be the medium for which they were using to destabilize or plotting to use to destabilize the country. But for now, here on this platform, all we can say is that may his soul rest in peace.
The cause of his death is not yet known.
Yes, and then we are yet to hear from the state what this will mean to the ongoing case. But we know that the other accused persons will soon be called also to open their defense.
Of course. You are still watching CNR Extra here on CCTV. You can join us with your thoughts, submissions, and comments via our WhatsApp line 0204447033. We are still streaming on YouTube, and you can join us there on CCTV. This is still CNR Extra, still to come. Over 30,000 patrons enjoyed Ghanaian delicacies amidst good entertainment in the 2023 edition of City FM and City TV's Back to Your Village. Stay with us, we're back with more stories.
Hooray! Harvest Praise is 25 years. Come and let's celebrate 25 years of sharing his story and his praise. Ministering at the Silver Jubilee edition is praise and worship legend Don Moen.
God is good all the time.
The young, sensational and anointed minstrel Moses Bliss.
Miracle, no they fight Jesus.
Harvest Choir, the Evergreen Harvest Gospel Choir. As always, Harvest Theatre will deliver a soul-inspiring drama performance. Join us at the UPSA Auditorium on Good Friday, 7th April 2023, 4 p.m. sharp. Tickets, single, 80 Ghana cedis, double, 150 Ghana cedis, and VIP, 150 Ghana cedis. Dial *725*1155# on all networks and buy your tickets now. Tickets are also available at Airport Shell, Bachana Total, Sunny 88.7 FM, and all Harvest Chapel branches in Accra. Children are not left out. Children from ages 5 to 12 will enjoy an awesome experience at the HP Kids session featuring King's Kid, Louis Pascal, Kata Harry, and many more. Entry is free for kids once you purchase an adult ticket. Come, let's celebrate. It's the Silver Jubilee. Harvest praise. Get your praise on. See you there.
You're welcome back. Now let's bring you some more stories. And hundreds of dry season farmers in Jarapa municipality of the Upper West region count their losses following the drying up of the Chari Dam. Let's bring you that insight.
Hundreds of dry season farmers in the Konzukala electoral area of the Jarapa municipality of the Upper West region are counting their losses due to the drying up of the Jara Dam, which is their only source of water. This situation has caused some of the farmers, who are mostly the youth, to flee the area due to their inability to pay their credit facilities as a result of the drying up of their farms. Some of the farmers who spoke to City News' Latif Mahama complained that the situation is impacting them negatively and it is also affecting their socio-economic lives, and appealed to the government to urgently come to their aid to desilting the dam.
More than 500 farmers, mostly the youth from Tampui, Duri, Tampar-Ziene and Dagor within the Konzukala electoral area of the Jarapa municipality, depend on the Chare Dam for their dry season farming. The farmers cultivate crops such as tomatoes, onions, garden eggs and other varieties of vegetables in large quantities, which serve as their major source of income. The dam also serves as a major source of water to the livestock in the communities and for domestic purposes. Beyond its agricultural impact, the Chare Dam has over the years contributed significantly to a reduction in youth migration from the Konzukala electoral area to other parts of the country in search of menial jobs. Some of these farmers tell City News they make between 6,000 and 10,000 Ghana cedis from their gardens during the dry season, which spans from November to March. In spite of its significance, the Chare Dam has completely dried up, leaving the farmers stranded.
This is the Chara Dam here in the Jarapa municipality of the Upper West region. This dam engaged more than 1,000 inhabitants of the Tampar-Ziene community here in the municipality. However, as you can see, the dam has dried up, leaving the inhabitants to their fate. We are told that more than 1,000 youth in this area have migrated to Kumasi and other parts of the country to engage in menial jobs, particularly in Galamsey.
Amato ka abundiri wataka ama keka kumbadi kerka katidi nyeru to government tingwere kwelsen hakuru acharni a atedampu ngayele nyaka banita na tuwa awason ka kumbebe ana viele na ya akote
akuna bechebe na te tae doga bonso atene mi banjara kunjure te don me banjara kun so ata wahala akote I the guy didn't in a atasum kote yaga. Atasum lobo, atasum acharane at a bibli school gawele. A year be pouring. Ka zierment mania ziara adi. Ale ya be min pouring. Katemala de akpeninda aton akwara nye librifi. A charane a siem yiltare. Ka timota bundira adi pome. Temala dira sa libira alekpeda ale chanle de bundir.
Akwana da mabebe. Ti tamama gerejon. Tima iya gadin tumala kantuno. Tima iya gadin correct. So kapampana you kontata tintama en titamanja ya bon. Ka ji yuma mina la tatima en timamanja bonza awala kare kelasa twal so gasur ma twal ga galese. Te kera hade kele bala akuma fina na mambe karmen tela en. Pampana akuma bara mo karama gba la po. Ala karmen kele an wata mo karmen yo luan te chamen so karpam yere kwel kura a gwabinete ane nimimbaru deme kon hana wanje tinimbalu ko wasonte so kar titamala gara aswere so ka gadi tema iya gadi timanje bona timanje ama bon sonte kar mangwari ye dar motoru atuna suna a atinga ha metore.
This 35-year-old pregnant mother of 3 tells City News her husband had run away from the village to the southern part of the country to do illegal mining so that they can get money to pay back a facility he took to invest in this garden.
Komi wasinka wa ana wa wana ka akunome abin sotie abele chibe kana lamira komi ka tomba karpor akor agati da sema wajibe karaton ka anti scooby ampana ya min gaay gelinse akwana nyora la wele chibe o gaay gelinse chebe ampana mi mama mi ye popo so in kolabonye libiri agati gani doctor be agati la tonson a scooby ko ga school.
The assemblyman for the Konzokola electoral area says majority of the youth in the area have moved to down south in search for menial jobs because they no longer have any source of livelihood due to the state of the dam.
They have cultivated over 5-acre land of vegetables here, expecting that the water will stay, but unfortunately that is not so. It has dried up very early this year, and all the crops are now left to the mercy of the sun. In fact, it's a pity. If you look at what is happening now, most of the young guys who were owners of these gardens have abandoned the thing to run to south to look for galamsey and other activities to do. Some have left over their pregnant wives and they are at least struggling, and we don't know how to handle that because they used to make a lot of money out of this. The previous years, many people have built houses, bought motorbikes and other things from this place as a result. But for now, this year, unfortunately, the dam has dried up so early. My appeal to government is that at least let us see how we can help other non-governmental organizations that come to our aid. Please, this dam has contributed a lot to the livelihood of our people here. These people are already into the job and they are doing it. They have demonstrated that they are ready to do the work. So if we invest into this, it will yield result. Government should come to our aid to desal this dam so that at least we can have water throughout the year. So these farmers will come back to business, and then it will reduce our problems within this area.
The Jirapa Municipal Director of Agriculture expressed fears that the unemployment situation in the area will worsen if the dam is not rehabilitated.
When I came, I first of all came to the dam. And when I saw the potentials, the human beings, the youth, the way they are interested to do the work here. In fact, it was one of the first dams I actually visited, the Chere Dam, because I realized that these youth, we are preventing them not to moving to the south for different work or galam. Some people are going for galamsey and all those things. And before you can prevent them, you have to get something for them doing here. So I am actually appealing to the authority, those who can help us to make sure this dam is installed, so that at least the youth, the aged, those who cannot move anywhere can get something doing.
The drying up of the Chare Dam is bringing untold hardship to the people of Tamparziene and other surrounding communities. The people are thus calling on the government to, as a matter of urgency, come to their aid by desilting this dam. Reporting for City News, my name is Latif Mahama.
Their plight is clear. They are asking for the desilting of the Chare Dam. And I think that if this is not done, can have an effect on the farming situation there, because that's a farming community, and the residents there are of the view that the government should, as a matter of urgency, pay some attention there. I think it's not far from a right call that the various authorities must be up and doing. Well, the MCA also spoke about it, that he thinks that the people in the area are well into farming and they want to work more. So at least government should pay some attention to that municipality.
Well, irrigation agriculture is very essential, even though not widespread in Ghana. Globally, even though most of the farms, about let's say 17%, are done through irrigation agriculture, you get about 40% or a little over 40% of the world's food production coming in from irrigation agriculture. This means that even though small portions of the farms we have in the world are farmed through irrigation, the amount of food that they produce on the average are of a high quantity than rain-fed agriculture. That's why there's always been a call for governments to invest in irrigation agriculture, particularly because now that we are having climate change issues where you cannot even plan with your usual dry season, wet season periods, because previously farmers could know that between this specific period is the wet season, and then they can use that to farm and then leave the dry season for fallow, even though the argument was that it was not increasing productivity. They could plan, but now even during the wet season, if you go to farming areas, they have a difficulty in facing in getting in the rain, water, the rain itself. So that suggests that government will have to do
I think this
a
has
lot
to do
when
with, is it the 1D?
Yeah, so I
one
think
district, one factory,
that's why the
district, one dam.
Government brought the one district, one dam initiative. They've been concerned about its success rate generally, but this particular dam, the Chare Dam, is being noted to have low storage capacity in itself and to have high siltation, and that's why we are talking about the need for desilting it, and government will have to
pay more attention to it. So I think it's a laudable call that has been made by the residents and also the farmers that this should be desilted. Talking about food, what happened over the weekend at the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar? Let's bring you that insert.
Has pledged his support for CTTV and CTFM's Back to Your Village Food Bazaar. The two-day event aims at promoting the consumption of indigenous Ghanaian foods and drinks. The program forms part of activities to mark the Heritage Month of March. The following report has a wrap of exciting 10 of events on the very first day of the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar. As at 8 a.m. on Saturday, vendors were ready to serve patrons a variety of indigenous Ghanaian meals from the diverse cultures of Ghanaians. Vendors were segmented into snacks and food stands to make it easier for patrons to locate their favorite foods and drinks. At the southern food stand was lined up foods like akpele and fetiridechi, ewokpele and bobitazi, ayikpele, abolo, amongst others. Also, akans were not left out, as meals like fufu and rerenkwang, apapransa, omuto and nkatenkwan, tiozafi, amongst others, were on display.
Hi, Daddy. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome.
Well, I would want to find out. I'm sure this is the entire nuclear family that you've brought here. Why did you choose to come?
Yeah, kiss auntie.
Yeah. Okay. I would want you to just tell us, why did you want to come here with the whole family?
I think I enjoy City FM and City TV and their programs. Obviously, I'm a believer of the Ghanaian agenda, so anytime I realize that there's a station or an entity within the country that focuses on promoting our culture, particularly through exhibition of cuisines, I'm excited to see that we've been able to bring together vendors across the various religions and all of them. So when you see people coming from Volta with their cuisine, Brown Afro with their cuisine, Greater Accra with their cuisine, it's exciting, and I do believe that it is nice to come here and enjoy and also share the moment with my kids.
Why did you choose to come and be a part of this program?
I thought it would be super interesting to discover all the different food culture there is in Ghana.
And so far, what's your take?
Yes, it's very diverse. There are many stands. Everyone is super friendly, and I tried some of the snacks, and it was delicious.
Do you know the name of the snack that you tried?
No, I don't remember, but also a lot of juices that were really good. I couldn't name it again, sorry.
But then, are there other foods that you are hoping to try before you leave here today?
No, I think I will maybe come back tomorrow to try more of the main dishes, because right now it was more like snacks that I tried and juices. So yes, I'm thinking of going back tomorrow to try the main dish.
Please tell me, what is this?
Abolo. Yes.
Charlie, forgive me. Okay, and what again do you have here?
I have yakayake, I have amadechi, I have...
Is it possible to show us?
Yeah, sure, you can.
So she's going to help us with some of the foods she's selling here. Okay, so which one is this?
Amadechi. That is spinach with egusi. Yes, please. And then we have abobitadi, popularly known as Keta Schoolboys. Yes, please.
I've gotten to know one thing.
And then I have green okro. You can go and come in 5 minutes and then you see it. And then the abolo and yakayake. We have ewokple and amokple as well.
There was also an interbus competition where contestants were drawn from the 2022 Heritage Caravan patrons. At the end of the competition, Bus 3 representatives came top with 47 points.
So, placing first with 47 points out of 60 is bus number 3.
The Back to Your Village Food Bazaar will continue on Sunday between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. at the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly AMB building.
The whole effort is to make sure that the food that we grew up knowing is brought back to the shelves. Just understand that anytime you go to the supermarket, to the shops, every food item that you pick out puts a job on the table for somebody. Now you have to decide whether you want to put a job on the table for a Ghanaian or for a Malaysian or for a Taiwanese. So the more foreign foods you buy, the more jobs you create in other countries. We want to reverse the trend, promoting our indigenous foods, and that's why we are here.
Our own local foods, like Samen says, it is going to bring more jobs for our people in the hinterlands. I will not say much, but I want to congratulate once again the organizers and, of course, City, first in the air. Always on track, first in the air, I say. They are bringing computation right to the doorstep of the media fraternity. And I think we need to congratulate them. Maybe I have to use the opportunity to also thank them. They have partnered the Let's Make Greater Accra Work agenda right from the onset. And through their efforts, through their support, through their constructive criticism, we have seen an Accra that is creating an awareness for people to be very mindful of their environment. Rome was not built to the day. So I know that gradually, one day, Greater Accra will work again.
Well, so this is what happened at the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar. This is the tip of the iceberg. We will go on a quick break. When we come back, we will bring you more actions of what happened at that event.
serene, pristine, natural. This is Maha Beach Resort, set on the seafront in Atuabo and the rich oil and gas hub of the western region. The warmth of the resort can fill your soul. Our well-receptive environment brings you home away from home. The strand of beauty detailing the state-of-the-art facility makes your stay even more fun within the well-thought-through architectural features, hosting all sorts of fun games. Maha Beach Resort has an assortment of packages for all occasions. Maha Beach Resort, redefining indigenous hospitality.
Creamy Plus is a fully skimmed evaporated milk. Creamy Plus is available in a shop near you.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
You're welcome back. Let's bring you more actions of what happened at the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar.
Well, as anticipated, the 2023 edition of the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar brought together people from all walks of life and a wide range of delicacies, which are indigenous foods made right here in the country, from the northern through the middle belt to the southern part of the country. And this, we know, is as part of events to mark the Heritage Month of March. Well, the second day of the food bazaar also caught the attention of some prominent individuals in society, and for them, they say that this is one great initiative that should be commended.
I think it's a laudable one. It's something that we need to celebrate City for the innovation. I mean, some of the things you see here, if you don't go to the village, and how many times do we get the opportunity to go to the village? You don't get to see them. And many of these meals are getting out. You know, they're going out of stock. And I mean, for many people, their kids, they're afraid to even take their kids back to the village. So their kids actually don't go to the village. But at least we've been able to bring the kids through. They've asked questions about the meals. You've explained to them this is from the southern, from the northern. This is made with this is made with that. And the fact that you even have desserts that are local and local drinks that are healthier than the processed drinks. So it's a laudable initiative. I wish we could do this more than only once a year, so that at least we give people the opportunity to come together, if it's twice a year or every quarter. It's because you can see the patronage is high, so it's a good thing. I don't know the level of support City has from government on this, but I think that this should be something that the state must begin to take interest in. We're looking at the cost of importation of food. Okay, you're looking at rice importation and all of that. I saw a local Ghanaian rice stand here. Okay, and so that's good. You're marketing it, but if we build a taste for Ghanaian meals, and most of the material that is used, millets, maize, are grown locally, you're going to have a lot of import substitution. So then there'll be a ready market for people to invest in maize farms locally, because you know that there's a huge Ghanaian demand for it.
Yeah, I think that this is something you must repeat. You must do this not once in a year. It could be on a quarterly basis. I think that you need to consider that.
I want to know, immediately you got here, what sense did you make of the whole place? Because some people say that it is taking them back memory.
Well, I've seen a few bazaars. I witnessed the pork bazaar at the trade fair somewhere in the very early 1990s. And I see that Ghanaians really love Ghanaian food. And Ghanaians will go anywhere there is a food bazaar like this. And in particular, if the quality of food is good, Ghanaians would always patronize. And so perhaps it's a day to remember and a day people would look forward to.
It's been successful. I can say that I am amazed. I never expected it to be this big. It's huge and it's been good. I just was talking to one of the vendors. She said, look, she's even tired. She's made her money already and she wants to go home. But people are making requests on her. It's good. I'm particularly happy with the kids, the young ones who are here, introducing these young ones to our traditional dishes and things. It's wonderful. I think we should do that more. Some of them are enjoying themselves. They don't normally have time to go out and have this fun because they are holed up in their houses, playing games and all those things. And this is good. If we can open them up to such cultural events and traditional events, it gives them a different type of education, open them to who they are as Ghanaians. And now I think I will want to congratulate City for this wonderful initiative. It's marvelous.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's a lot of food around, so I'm just going around tasting a lot of food. What do we eat? Tilapia. Yeah, tilapia. And what's it, banku? Banku, yes. Yes. How was the food? Oh, it was real good. I ate the whole thing.
I think that it is the program is as advertised. There are so many vendors compared to last year. I think there are many people around now. There are many vendors. So we've gone through. We've seen that it's been very, very fantastic. Yeah. I think it's fantastic. For me personally, I'm not too adventurous with food, so I go with what I know. But going around with my wife, we've seen that there are so many different foods. We've even seen some dawa jollof. We want to take home and go and try that out. So I think that there are different varieties of food for all the regions in Ghana, and I think that this is a very, very good initiative by City.
So if you didn't come there, like it's been said, you do yourself. You do yourself. And the food that people really enjoy there, the banku, the fufu, oh my Lord.
Charlie was a good one. Yeah, it was a good one. I mean, people are asking for more.
But when they ask for more, some Mensa, managing director of City FM and City TV, made mention of something. You forget that it's a media house. It's not a food vendor.
We do what we can do, yes. But the message here is that we need to promote what is Ghanaian. You see, that is the message, and so you don't have to. Perhaps City has opened your eyes to it, but you don't have to wait for another food bazaar. I mean, there are a lot of good restaurants around that still prepare and sell very good Ghanaian made foods, and then you can enjoy these foods, thereby helping the Ghanaian economy. That is the lesson that we need to learn.
Exactly. So that is the lesson that we've learned, that we have to do, make everything Ghana. Mind you, we are still in the Ghana month, and ensure that everything is going to be done Ghana. Well, our suit even sometimes Ghana. And make sure that next year you are part of the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar and enjoy all the food you can at that particular event. This is how I wrap up today's edition of CNR Extra here on City TV. My name is Philip Nihlacha. I did this with Hansen Ajiman. Many thanks for your time and keep watching City TV.